Welcome back to our overview of Microsoft Classroom and OneNote Class Notebook. There's just a lot of great stuff here that is fun to explore and share. Just to do a quick recap of what we've been doing so far, you can see that in Microsoft Classroom there are lots of different ways that you can add assignments. One way is to add an assignment through the web interface. Another way, as I shared in the previous video, is to add it through the class notebook. And as a teacher, this is a real time saver because you can go into your content library. For example, we took the organizer fractured fairy tale and we created an assignment out of it, and then that was automatically shared with all the students in our class where they could work on it. And then through the power of the connections that are available here, that we've mapped the class notebook that we're looking at right now on our computer to the web-based version online, students are able to, and we've connected the students and matched them up. So students, their work is done here and then it's reflected online. But the magic, of course, is that when we go to completed assignments for the organizer, we get a graph of what's happened, and we also can see individual submissions. If we want to, we can make changes to grades here online on the web, or we can come into OneNote Class Notebook and click on where it says Review Student Work, and if I go to Review Assignments and check this Enter Grades option, I see what the actual grades are. If I change the grades here, they get changed in Microsoft Classroom Online. If I make the changes in Microsoft Classroom Online, they get synced up and changed here. So that's really a powerful feature. Okay, let's explore some other aspects of this. So far, we've taken a look at the content library and being able to quickly create assignments using the Class Notebook tab. But in the collaboration space, there's definitely ways of that students can work. They can work together on a document. So if I have maybe what I can do here is create additional pages for groups. So I could say group 1, fairy tale, and in this I'm going to just go in and insert a picture. So there's the picture, and then I can just copy and paste that and then rename it. And so I can set that up for my groups. I can quickly just indent, and what's nice about the indent is that you can come in and then just collapse those subpages, and they all have the same features. Now let me log in as a student. I think that I can do this maybe using a different app. As a student, let's say that I'm working on my computer at home and all I have access to is OneNote. I can click on OneNote and let me just add an account. Oops. Clicked my way right out of that. I'm going to choose an account and I'm going to type in TCA student 31 at usmie.com. That is one of the students that's actually in my class. So we'll be asked for the password. I type that in and sign in. It'll say if I want to add this account. I'm going to skip that for now. And now I actually am signed in. I'm going to click on close. So then the question becomes, how do I get that notebook that's on the web um, into OneNote? Well, there's lots of different ways that I could do that. Since I'm doing all the recording on one machine, when I click on the web and say to edit this OneNote or to work on this, it's probably going to want to do that using my teacher account. Um, but as a student, if I had my own tablet, I would be able to go in and interact with the content and see all my resources. But if I'm working in a group setting, here's my information, and I'm not on a tablet. I'm in OneNote Online, so I'm limited in terms of some of the things that I can do here. Um, but if I were running on a tablet, I would actually have full access to a screen. So let me just pretend that I am a student in Group 1. So as a student in Group 1 and I'm using a Surface tablet, I would have access, if I was running OneNote, OneNote 2016 or whatever, and then I would be able to go in and all the students would be able to work on this project regardless of who they were, and they would be able to do this in a collaboration space. So all students would be able to work on and edit. You'd have to talk about students working in their particular group. But once this was done, students would be able to share their creations. Actually, they're shared as they're doing them. So no matter what group they might be in, they would eventually have access to all of these resources. So that's the collaboration space that's shown here. I sort of talked a little bit about the content library already in previous videos, so I won't go over it too much. There's also the assignments that have been created. And then if I jump over to a different section group which has to do with a particular student, the student has the class notes, the handouts, and the assignments. Now, one of the features that I haven't really talked about much yet is it's very easy to record audio and insert it. And I love recording audio on my particular mobile device. I have an iPhone, but you can also use Android. And if you're running the OneNote app on that device, you can record audio directly in. Since I'm on a Surface Book, I can come in and record audio here. And I'm not sure how it's going to work since I'm also recording this presentation. But we'd be able to record the audio, and I'm going to guess that it's recording right now. So let me go ahead and click stop. And now I have a welcome message that's here, and of course the title of the file matches what I've typed in. I can come over here to the left of it, and I'm not sure how it's going to work since I'm all, and there we go. So I'm not sure how it's going. It's actually done the recording. If I don't like that recording, I can just delete it and come back up and insert a new recording. So this time let me be a little bit more serious. Oh, wait. Blah. Unfortunately, I started that recording and I wasn't ready. Okay, I'm going to come to insert. As soon as I click on record audio, it's going to start recording. Welcome to this English class. I'm your teacher, Miguel Gulen, and I'm thrilled to have you here. We're going to be working on fairy tales and the uses of enchantment. Make sure that you have your text, Bruno Bettelheim's The Uses of Enchantment, before our next class. So I've recorded a quick thing. I'm going to hit play. Hopefully you'll be able to hear that. Welcome to this English class. I'm your teacher, Miguel Gulen, and So I'm going to stop it there, but you can see, you could hear and see that I'm able to interact with this audio file that's over here. So this makes it very easy for you as a teacher to add audio, but also in the collaboration space, as well as in the student private spaces, it makes it very easy for students to add audio and video if they have access to all the resources. Notice the record video features are here. There's also page templates that you can set up, and these page templates allow you to sort of organize your OneNote document pretty much any way you want. So there's math and science class notes, history class notes. There's also the business ones, working on a project, and I would probably start out with a project and organize it a little bit differently, and other planners. Once you've set up a template the way you want, you can see that it's there, and again, I would just sort of clean out some of this stuff and customize it for what I thought should be there. But once this is done, if you wanted to quickly distribute this page, you could. You could distribute it to the assignments, class notes, or handouts. If you're going to make it into an assignment, I think probably what you'd want to do is come over to ClassNotebook and create an assignment out of the project, and then drop it into the assignment. Give it a due date and time. Remember that an assignment is going to be created in Microsoft Classroom. All the students will get this, and when you click create, it's going to get shipped out to all the students. And when I go to back to my Microsoft Classroom and click on assignments, I now have a project overview assignment that's ready to go. So very easy way to interact and go back and forth between Microsoft Classroom and OneNote 2016. Again, don't get hung up on the fact that we're jumping back and forth between the application that's installed on your computer and the web interface. You can do quite a bit of the work right here in OneNote Class Notebook. So it's a real powerhouse that enables you to connect with an online learning management system, which is Microsoft Classroom, that your students interact with. So you have access to all these tools, and if they have access to OneNote on their particular device, then they have a different range of tools available to them that they can use to complete assignments. Then, but if they don't, they can always access those resources through the web. So if I go to my website and I go to the OneNote notebook, here's the project overview. Now remember, I haven't even, this is the first time I've clicked back here, but all of it is there. And if I come into a student view and I go to assignments, project overview, not there. Let me see. Forget where I saved it. Let me reload that page. And what's constantly happening as you work on things is, oh, there's my audio file, is that content is being saved from my OneNote 2016 to the web. And so it may take a few minutes for it to end up there or for it to be visible. But be assured that if you need to get it out there quick, you can just right click on OneNote 2016 on your computer, just right click on the title of a notebook and choose Sync this notebook now. And what happens is that information gets pushed up to the online version, and so we might eventually see that it's going to pop up. So I'm sure it'll show up eventually. So this has just been a really quick overview of OneNote and exploring some of the features. Some of the other features, of course, include the history, being able to see when a OneNote was last edited. You can mark a notebook as read or unread, which means it lets you know when were the last changes that have been made. You can also come into review. You have spelling, research, the source. For example, if I click on research, you can type in a text to look at a variety of research and reference services. So I'm just going to click on project planners and just see what happens when I click on that. It pops up no results found. It does give me some translation options. There are some reference books, which are basically thesauruses. So there's also another neat feature that allows you to actually password entire sections of your OneNote. So if you had something that was top secret, maybe the teacher section, and you wanted to add a password to it, you could do that. This is great if you're working with professional learning community and you're using a class notebook as a way to share information with each other. Then you're able to password sections. So the way I explain it is that, let's say I'm a classroom principal, and not a classroom principal, a campus principal, and I have different grade level teams or department teams working. I could set up a class notebook for the for lesson plan collection for all my grade level teams, and assign each grade level team a password. It would be different, and that way they would be able to collaborate on their lesson plans and share information. Um, you could also there are also other zillion different possibilities, so you can sort of play around with that idea, but you can actually password stuff, and these passworded sections are actually passworded even in the online version, but when you go to them, you'll be prompted. So let me show you what that a passworded OneNote section looks like. I'm just going to quickly go to the OneNote notebook that I've set up to share my TCA materials. And when you get there, you'll see that here we are. I can come over, and I have a members only section. So all this other stuff here is available to anyone who has the address. But to get into the members only section, for example, TOTS and Technology, there's a password, and you have to know what that password is. Let's hope I remember the password. And when you type in the password, then you get access to all these great resources. So as you can see, that's a nice feature there for the password. There are also different views. You can do full page view. Normal view, of course, is what you see now. Full page view sort of gets rid of all the other stuff, and you can focus on an assignment. You can always come up to this top right hand corner and click on the double headed arrow and choose normal view. You can add rule lines. You can change the page color to whatever you want. Lots of possibilities here. It's just a matter of playing with them and exploring them. Now, learning tools is pretty neat. Let's say that you have a document that you're working with, or students that have special needs. If they click on those tools, you can actually have it read to them.
Project name, company name, presenter name.
And it will go through and it will read all of that. You can also come in and change the speed of the voice. You can adjust the size of the text to make it smaller or bigger. Change the font, decide whether you want a dark theme or not. Then if you come over to these little books, the stack of books, you can see syllables, nouns, and as you click on those, things will happen to the text. So if I click on syllables, see how it breaks up each word into syllables. Nouns are highlighted in purple. Verbs appear in red. I don't think we have any. Well, there we go. Verbs is allocated. And then adjectives appear in green. Well, we'll have to test whether that's actually those are actually verbs or not. But adjectives, excuse me. But those are just different tools that are available in the immersive reader. You can also have dictate, and dictate is of course nice because you can dictate content. Welcome to this project overview. In this assignment, please outline the major components of your project. Oh, unfortunately, you have to sign into your account, so let me do that real quick. Let's try it again. Welcome to this project overview assignment. In this assignment, you are expected to do something important. Do something important. And what should happen is that this should drop the text in there. For some reason, I didn't quite get it. So it may be that my user permissions are slightly off, or I'm not doing something just right. We'll come back to that a little bit later, and there's some great videos that explore just the learning tools aspect of OneNote. Now, we've talked about Class Notebook. The macros section is something that I've added on to my particular OneNote installation. It's called OneTastic, and it really gives you some nice automated features. So for example, if you want to build a table of contents, you can do that. Table of contents for the current section. So if I wanted a table of contents for my welcome section, let me just do that. It drops in that table of contents, and there it is. And now if I wanted to, I could just put that there, or I could just highlight it and then paste it here. So you can see how this might be fun to have access to help you organize your particular um, information in a section. I really see how much content that you could put in here, including PowerPoints and lots of other things. You know, I didn't mention including sways, but let me jump over to docs.com. In fact, let me jump over to docs.com/mgulen. And here's where I have some resources, and I have ePortfolio solutions with Google and Microsoft. So if I wanted to, I can copy that, and let me switch back to my OneNote. I'm just going to drop this right here and then paste it in. And as you can see, it actually embeds that Microsoft Sway, which and so unfortunately it's giving me that. I don't know why. But it will embed, and typically those will play. So if I come over to my period 1 notebook and I come to project, well, it's in the welcome area. So here's my welcome, and there is the sway that I've embedded, my ePortfolio solutions with Google and Microsoft, and here is the article that I wrote that compares those two items. And what's neat about Sway is that you can embed quite a bit of content here and drop it in. You can also embed video. So if I have a YouTube, I can go to my insert and insert an online video. I can also go to maybe vimeo.com. And let me just do a generic search on education videos. So here's a video on global citizenship education. I'm going to click on that. And notice that there's the address to that particular video is there. If I flip over to my OneNote and just paste that in, it will automatically embed that video there, and I should be able to just play it in OneNote. So there's just again a lot of ways to get content into OneNote, and as I make these changes, they sync up automatically, or I can just right click as I did and choose sync. They will end up online in my OneNote, and you can see here it is. So students get this content pretty much in real time as you are creating it and adding it. And that's a very powerful aspect of Microsoft Classroom and OneNote Class Notebook. Even if I close out of all of that, I can always come back to my class notebook on Microsoft Classroom, click on Launch Class Notebook, and it will pop right up. And here's all that content that I've added in. Thanks for watching this overview of Microsoft Classroom and OneNote Class Notebook. As you can see, there are lots of possibilities here. You can find more resources at ly.tca.org/TCEAMIE1, resources that I've created there. And then you can also go to the TCA Tech Notes blog. Just go to tca.org/blog, and you'll find again lots of resources. Here's one on steps to a tech-powered classroom with Office 365. So thank you. My name is Miguel Gulen. You can reach me on Twitter at MGUHLIN.